What is going on, guys? So I'm here with VEGANHUSTLETV, going to be answering some of your questions today. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it, man.
Up here at Primrose Hill Park, absolutely beautiful day.
It's a lovely day, guys. And you know what? This guy is huge in real life. He's huge. Look at.
He's lying. He's lying.
Anyway, let's not get into that. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions on Instagram. I'm just gonna have a quick run through them. Probably won't be able to get through all of them because a lot of them are quite similar. So let's just get into it. All right, first question is from Joel Suarez 8. He says, so whenever I have a conversation about how we don't need meat, they hit me with a question, well, why do all humans have canines? Didn't answer that? I don't know I had canines.
Yeah, they're not really proper canines.
Do I have canines, bro?
Do you really think I could run up to a horse or a cow and just like rip it to death with these?
Literally. Just tell your friend, whoever's saying that, go to a farm, right? Jump over the fence, run up to the cow and just sink his teeth into his neck. See what happens. Yeah?
Also, hippo, right? A hippo is a herbivore, has these huge canine fang-like teeth. And also, even if you could prove that we are supposed to eat meat just because we have these, just because, you know, we can eat meat, doesn't necessarily mean we should. When you look at like the moral and the ethical aspects of things, like, you clearly see that we shouldn't. You know, we shouldn't be doing that. It's completely wrong.
Absolutely. And just imagine as well. Just imagine there was no cutlery. All right. There weren't no cooking utensils. It will be your natural inclination to go and eat fruits and vegetables. Okay, you're not gonna go up to a live animal and just bite into it. Okay, guys, we all know this. We all know this deep down inside. Stop making up these arguments. I wouldn't even call it an argument because it's not an argument. But stop making up these
stupid reasons. It's just trying to justify like bad habits that you've got.
That's all it is. Okay, so just keep it real.
Next question
from Pump Shop. He asks, how many grams of protein and carbs do you get a day? What is your height and weight? All right, you can go.
So I'm 5'10", about 90 kilos at the minute because I'm bulking, or I'm in a period of a surplus calorie intake. So that's where I'm at right now. In terms of grams of protein, I get 220. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get that amount as well.
What's that protein?
220 grams of protein per day and about 400 to 500 grams of carbs every single day, like without fail. 400 to 500 grams of carbs because I need my carbs to fuel my workouts and get big and strong. I mean, everything varies. Like, let's hear what Casey's gonna say.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm not bulking at the moment, okay? So at the moment, I'm getting around, I'll say 120 to 150 grams of protein a day, okay? And around 300 grams of carbs. I'm 6'1" and I weigh 92 kg, all right? So it depends. The amount of protein I consume wouldn't be the amount of protein you should be consuming, okay? Everyone's individuals are all unique. Like I was saying to Rob a bit earlier, some of my friends will consume a lot more protein than me, but I'll be able to build a lot more muscle than them. So it just depends. You gotta understand yourself and learn yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So
trial and error. That's the best way to find out, honestly. Like, nobody wants to hear that answer. Everyone wants, like, how much? I want to know a number. Tell me a number right now. The reality is, there is no, like, quick way to realize, like, what your genetics determine in terms of what your diet requires. You have to go out and find that. Same with training as well.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find what works for you through trial and error, experimentation.
Absolutely. Stop comparing yourself to other people, guys. Seriously. Next question.
So I got a question asked about what do I think of intermittent fasting. So personally, like, I have tried intermittent fasting in the past, and I like it in terms of fat loss because it helps with adherence. Now, adherence is one of the most important factors when it comes to fat loss. What is the most important thing? Well, it's the fact that you're going to be consistent with the diet. Like, if something's going to work for a week, then it's not going to help you lose fat in the long term. So intermittent fasting is good for me. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to be good for you. You've got to try it out. It helps you to feel nice and satisfied in the evenings, but you may not do well if you haven't eaten in the mornings. You may be one of those people who needs to eat, otherwise you feel sick. I've got friends who feel sick if they don't eat. Personally, I feel like I'm more focused when I don't eat, and it allows me to get other stuff done because I'm not focusing on making meals, but like, equally, it may not work for you. So it's something you have to find out for yourself.
Absolutely. See, me, I'm the complete opposite. I hate intermittent fasting. Okay, I've tried it before. So what I was doing, I was having my first meal at 1 p.m. and then my second meal at 8 p.m. and I was literally just fasting for around 16 hours and then having the next meal at 1 p.m. again. So, I mean, I'm the kind of person, I don't like feeling restricted. If I'm hungry, I'll go and eat. Okay, so it's a thing where, like you said, you have to see what works for you. And I find that the way I eat now, I'm able to gain muscle when I want, lose fat when I want, simply because I'm eating real foods, unprocessed, straight from the earth. So you got to think about it, guys. I mean, the foods that human beings are designed to consume, it will not make you fat. Next question is from Connor Gray. This one's for Rob. He asks, in your last Q&A, you said you were studying philosophy and politics and plan to do a piece about veganism for this. What are your political/religious beliefs and how do they align with veganism?
This question is too deep for a YouTube Q&A, I'm telling you. Alright, so religious beliefs. I'm not religious. And that's an interesting question because some people use religion to justify meat eating and eating, animal byproducts. And then other people justify veganism with religion. So it's definitely an interesting question. Personally, I'm not religious, but that doesn't mean I don't necessarily align my belief system with some of the teachings of certain religions. So for instance, like Buddhism, I really like the teachings of Buddhism. So one example would be interconnectedness. I believe that, our actions have implications beyond that we may be able to see. And everything is connected, like the whole world is connected, and you have to think about your actions very carefully because you may be having an impact in other places around the world. In terms of my political beliefs, without getting too complex, I believe in two fundamental principles, so like freedom and equality, and I believe we should extend these notions to animals as well. So I believe that animals have the freedom to do whatever they want in life, and they also have the freedom not to be implicated by humans. They have the freedom not to be caused to suffer and not to be caused to, to die as well. And I also believe that since animals have an equal capacity to feel pain, we should also treat them equally in terms of our physical, the physical way we treat them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my take on things is, when it comes to politics, that's just a whole that's a whole load of rubbish, to be honest. Anything that oppresses the people and governs people, I don't believe in. Okay, freedom is everyone's birthright. It's everyone's birthright. So anything that is put in place to take away someone's freedom, I don't believe in. I don't believe in at all. So politics, yeah, just don't talk to me about politics because that's for another video. When it comes to religious beliefs, I mean, I was raised a Christian, but there comes a point in your life where you start being able to think for yourself. And the way I say it, all religions preach the same thing: peace, love, peace and love. Okay, so it's like in the Bible, for instance, thou shalt not kill, but then we have Christians eating meat. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, just because we're human beings doesn't make us superior to any other beings, So
yeah, totally
at the end of the day, there's a saying. It says, "I have the same religion as that tree over there," and that's the way I see things. Okay, I believe in the universe. I believe in love. I believe in nature. I believe in food. I believe in life. So anything other than that is just a way to govern the people.
All right. Next question. We got asked to compare our diet and our training routines. So we've compared our diet. So let's talk a little bit about our training. So for me, my training is heavily focused on bodybuilding style training. So personally, I don't train for strength. I couldn't care how strong I am because when you're walking down the beach, it doesn't matter how strong you are. It's about how big and strong you look. So personally, I like to train more for hypertrophy, so muscle size as opposed to muscle strength. But I think it depends, what are your goals? If you want to be strong, train for strength. If you want to be big, then train to look big. I mean, some of the biggest bodybuilders in the world, they don't train to lift heavy weight because I feel like when you lift lighter weights, you get a better mind-muscle connection, you get a better contraction. That's better for hypertrophy, which is muscle growth.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's the way I train.
I see too many guys in the gym, right? They want to try and lift as heavy as possible, okay? And they literally, if they're doing a bicep curl, they're swinging their whole body whilst they're trying to pick up that weight. What is the point in doing that? Okay? Lower the weight and feel the contraction when you're doing that curl, because that is what's going to make your muscle grow. Okay? When you're bringing in other body parts, when you're trying to focus on one muscle group, it just makes the whole training pointless. Okay, guys? So really think about it. Leave your ego at home when you go to the gym. Okay? If it's strength that you're more focused on, then do more 5x5. I'll focus more on 5x5 lifts. If it's aesthetics, then I'll always go for higher volume. So anything from minimum 8 reps, between 8 to 12 reps, I'll look to stay in that range. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Also, we asked how many days a week we train. I personally train 6 days a week, rest 1 day a week, and I find that that's a good amount of frequency and volume for me. And my training program is programmed according to how many days I train. So obviously I'm not going to go super hard on the first day because I know I've got another 5 days of training. You know, I need to sort of spread my effort across the whole week as opposed to just focusing on one day in particular. I mean, how many days a week do you train?
At the moment, I'm only training 3 days a week, guys. Only 3 days a week. Reason being, right? I'm in the process of trying to go raw vegan, okay?
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So at the moment, I'm only having 1 cooked meal a day. 1 cooked meal a day, okay? So
that's news to me as well. That's awesome.
Exactly. But it's only been for like a few days. It's just something I'm trying out, and I just don't feel like I need to hit the gym as much, so to speak, because I don't really have any goals in terms of I want to get bigger or I want to cut. I'm just kind of maintaining at the moment, and I find that because it's a new way of eating, I'm just trying to see how my body reacts to it. So I'm trying not to overdo things. But I'm gonna do a piece on that on my channel, and I'll just let you know how it goes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Next question from Derek Healy. Any favorite books, movies that had an impact on your lives? I've been getting into The Power of Now lately, and it's mind-blowing. Yes. Shout out Eckhart Tolle for that book. The book's amazing. Have you read it?
No, I haven't read it actually. I've been hearing so many good things about it.
Check it out.
I need to read How Not to Die as well.
How Not to Die.
Yeah, Michael Greger. Yeah.
Stop eating meat.
Yeah.
But any favorite books or movies that changed your life?
I would say in terms of like movies or videos, the most important video was Gary Yourofsky's speech. I know that's not a movie, but I still think it's very important to watch that. Also, Cowspiracy is actually fantastic if you want to learn about the environmental impacts. Hello. We've got some dogs. Just come and say hello. They want to join in the Q&A. And then once you've watched Gary Yourofsky's speech and Cowspiracy, go and watch Earthlings, and then go and watch Forks Over Knives. And then if you've seen all those and you're still not vegan, then I don't really know what to say to you, to be honest. Like, there's not much.
You're not human.
No.
But for me, definitely Earthlings. 100% Earthlings. That's what done it for me. Because I mean, at first it weren't for ethics that I went vegan, it was for health. Okay, but after watching Earthlings, I was like, yo, there's no way I can continue contributing to that. I can't even get through Earthlings. One of those ones where 5 minutes in, you got to turn it off.
Yeah.
It's too much. Seriously, it's too much. And it's like you can feel what the animal's feeling. It's like, you want to do something. You want to do something about it. But there's actually a book I read the other day. It's quite a short book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? I'm not sure of the author. I'll let you guys know of the author. But it's a book on perspective. It's not really related to veganism. It's just more about embracing change. Embracing change. So whatever you're going through in life, go for it. Don't try and hold on to the past. Don't think too much about the future. Just embrace the now. Okay. Change is inevitable. Things are always going to change around you. You know, there's going to be a lot of things going to happen which you can't predict and which you might not like. But just embrace it, because at the end of the day, remember these 3 words: life goes on.
It's true.
Next question is from Veronica Boudreau. She asks, what is key to staying consistent with eating a vegan diet and not relapsing to eating meat? What is key?
I think like the most important thing is to like realize why you did it in the first place and remember why you went vegan. Like if you watched Earthlings and that made you realize, oh man, I need to go vegan, there's no harm in going and rewatching Earthlings to remind yourself of your reasons. There's no problem.
Absolutely. And the way I see it as well, I'm the kind of person that I don't like being lied to, right? And I feel like I've been lied to pretty much majority of my whole life. People have been telling me, yeah, eat meat, drink milk for strong bones. You know what I mean? It's like, you've been lying to me. All this time you've been lying to me. So it's like, once you find out the truth, you can't then unlearn the truth. Okay, so if you then go back to those bad habits, then you're cheating yourself. It just shows how much respect you have for yourself. So it's all about, just build up your self-esteem, guys. Start knowing that you are worthy, okay? You are worthy. So don't treat yourself like crap anymore. Next question from
Sylvia said you had the same
Advent MC. He asks, how do you stay at such a low body fat percentage?
All right. So for me, I don't stay lean like year round. I go through periods where I'm in a calorie surplus, so where I'm trying to, like, you know, bulk up. I don't like that term bulk up because it's just an excuse to get fat. So in a period of a small calorie surplus to try and gain some muscle, and then I tend to sort of eat in a deficit to help get leaner if I have gained some fat during the bulking phase. But for me, like, I can't build muscle effectively and optimally whilst I'm staying in a low body fat percentage. It just doesn't work for me. So I have to be eating like a lot of food and potentially gaining a little bit of body fat as a sacrifice in order to build a bit of muscle.
Absolutely. You have to eat to grow, guys. You have to eat to grow. You need to put yourself in a caloric surplus to grow. It's as simple as that. Heavyweight, high volume training. For me, the way I like to try and stay lean whilst bulking, should you say, is by basically on my training days, I'll put myself in a surplus, and then on my rest days, I'll put myself in a deficit. So I think there's a term for it. It's called body recomposition, something like that. But I mean, that works for me. That keeps the abs there, but it makes the gains as well. So give that a try, guys. Give it a try. On your rest days, just reduce your calories, put yourself in a deficit, and it's like you're capitalizing on the anabolic and catabolic. So try that out. Next question. What do you try to eat to make sure you get enough calories when you don't have much of an appetite?
Okay. High calorie plant foods like dates, seeds, nuts, nut butters, avocados, fruit, man. Fruit is delicious, and I could just eat fruit for days.
All day long.
Yeah.
All day long, seriously. I've always had a sweet tooth, so like fruit is just like candy for me, literally. And it's like you can eat as much. People say, oh, but you eat too much fruit, you'll get fat.
Is this guy fat? Like, seriously? Who's saying that?
I've never heard that one before. Eat too much fruit and you get fat. So when I heard that, I'm like, what? But guys, you won't get fat from eating fruit. Don't listen to that, man. Seriously.
Micronutrients, man. That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. And for me, I think the best way of eating is high carb, low fat. High carb, low fat, whole foods. People say carbs make you fat, but what actually makes you fat is it's the ingredients that goes along with the carbs, the salts, the oils, the refined sugars. That's what makes you fat.
Yeah.
So try and I wouldn't say cut them out completely. Me personally, I don't use oils anymore. But that was a process. So I mean, if you are going to use oils, try and reduce it as much as you can. Things like salt, stick to like pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, and just try not to use as much, because that's what will make you fat. It's not that carb. It's not the carbohydrate itself. It's the stuff that you put with it. Okay.
Yeah, I got a question here. What was the most difficult part of going vegan? That's a really interesting one. Casey, what was the most difficult part of your transition to going vegan?
The most difficult part? You know, at the start, I mean, it was more of what to eat. I wasn't really sure of what to eat. And every time I went on like Instagram to look at like other people's photos of their food and stuff, it always looked too fancy, and I'm not the greatest cook. So I'm like, how am I gonna, you know what I mean? I'm scratching my head thinking, I can't do this. You know what I mean? So it was just more of a case of literally finding out what to eat. So I mean, I just went back to basics. I just looked at just whole foods, just simple foods, grains, got your wild rice, potatoes. I was literally living off rice and beans for a long time, just because I don't really know what else to eat. Rice, beans, vegetables, fruits.
Yep.
Yeah, but over time, that's when you start doing a bit more research, connecting with people, and there's so much more to eat now for me. Seriously. Yeah. It's like if I don't go vegan, I wouldn't have been able to taste all these flavors I'm able to taste today. It's like a whole new world. Seriously.
I agree.
You appreciate food so much more.
Yeah, I agree with that. You experiment more and you find these new fruits. Like before I went vegan, can you believe this? I had never eaten a date. I'd never eaten a date.
Actually, I don't think I did either.
And now they're my favourite fruit. Like, I kid you not, dates. Oh my god, Majul dates.
Yeah?
My favourite, man. But I think the hardest part of me going vegan was nothing to do with like the food or anything like that. It was trying to tell other people about me going vegan, telling my family, telling my friends, and they're just like, they don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because I want to help them understand. Like, I was ignorant once. Like, everyone's ignorant before they go vegan. but it's really difficult to try and convey what you're feeling to these people without sitting down with them and saying we need to watch Earthlings, because if you're just going out, you know, with your friend, it's difficult to say, well, I need you to sit down and watch these really thought-provoking videos and things like that, and I really want you to question everything you've learned up to now in your life. Like, it's not easy to do in just some sort of casual conversation that you have with your friend. So like, trying to tell people like you're vegan is probably the most difficult part of going vegan.
And you gotta understand as well, people have to be ready to accept the message that you're portraying, okay? Because you can be making so much sense to them, but if they're not ready inside, okay, to actually listen to what you're saying, then it's pointless. So I mean, me, I don't really shout about it too much when it comes to like my friends and family. And I've noticed that they're coming to me now because they're seeing the results, they're seeing the way I live, they're seeing my energy levels. So it's like, hold on, Casey must be doing something right. So I think that's a better way. Just become the change you want to see in the world, and then you'll realize that you'll be able to impact people a lot more. So just stay focused. Don't let anyone knock you off track, man.
Agree with that. Cool. Next question. Okay, who would win in an arm wrestling match? Casey and I are discussing this on the way over. It would be a draw because we're equally strong herbivores. That's what it is.
That's it.
It would be a draw.
It's a draw. We done it earlier off camera. I won, but it's a draw.
Alright, someone asked a question about if we had any problems with digestion, and I think like Casey gave a tip on his channel ages ago where the first thing he eats after he workouts is a big bowl of fruit, and that helps to like line the stomach. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, because I mean, with fruit, it goes straight to the intestines, right? So it's like a lot of people, what they normally do is they'll have their big meal first, and then they'll have a bit of fruit for like dessert. But what happens is whilst you're trying to digest your big meal, the fruit will catch up with the big meal. All that will mix, and then it just causes bloating and gas. Okay, so always eat your fruit first before your meal, guys.
All right. Someone said, how do you burn fat from your love handles? So like, you can't spot reduce body fat, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You got to lose overall body fat, and then you will lose fat off your love handles.
Deficit, guys.
Simple as that.
Put yourself in a caloric deficit, and that's it.
Is high carb, low fat veganism sustainable with high intensity exercise and lifting? Oh yes. Yes it is.
It's the best.
High carbs is where it's at if you want to be like doing high intensity exercise. Like, I kid you not.
Yeah.
Up your carbs and see how your performance is affected, not only when you're pumping weights, but when you're doing your cardio, when you're just doing everyday stuff. You're fueled by carbs and you feel great.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I was even saying to Rob earlier, I wouldn't really class myself as a bodybuilder. I'm more of an athlete, okay? I like high intensity sports. I play football, I like cycling, swimming, running. That's why high carb works perfectly for me, because your body is fueled by carbs. It runs on carbs. So stick to high carbs, low fat, and I mean, you will love it, guys, man. You'll love it, seriously.
That's it.
Next question from Leon Popov. He asks, do you use supplements? Protein shakes, vitamin B12. How much and which ones? Appreciate you guys. Greeting from Finland. Shout out Finland.
We might differ on this a little bit.
Yeah, you can go.
Here's the thing, like, I was having B12, I think is essential for any vegan. In terms of protein shakes, if you can get that protein from Whole Foods, then go ahead and get that protein from Whole Foods. If you're like me and you're a student on a budget, and also you need the convenience, you don't necessarily have the ability to go out and buy a whole lot of food very often. For me, I cycle everywhere, so it's really difficult for me to carry like a load of food all the time. So I can only really carry enough for maybe like a day or two. In terms of convenience, like protein shakes is a good way to get some protein in. It's a convenient and cost-effective way to get protein in, but I think like, if you can do it through Whole Foods, go ahead and do it through Whole Foods.
Absolutely.
I'm a student on a budget. It's a cost-effective, convenient way to get protein in, so that's why I do it. It's not because I can't get the protein from food. A lot of people say that. Yeah. It's because I want the convenience. Like, I was having these before I went vegan.
It depends on your lifestyle as well. Me personally, I don't do protein shakes, and you guys will know that if you watch my channel. Simply because I prefer just to eat food how it is naturally made. Okay. When it comes to B12, I'm going to differ with you slightly on this. I don't take any B12 supplements, okay? Simply because the human body produces B12 itself naturally, and it's then recycled and reabsorbed in a healthy body, okay? So there's actually a research that was done, right? And 40% of the world population suffers from a B12 deficiency,
wow.
Okay? 1% of the world population is vegan. So how did you connect veganism and B12 deficiency? I don't get it, guys. I think B12 is just a bandwagon that everyone's jumping on to using it as an excuse kind of not to go vegan as well. And it's like, if you do have a deficiency, I think it takes up to around 20 years for it to even show. So, I mean, just to be on the safe side, you can go for like blood checks and things like that. But me personally, I don't take any supplements whatsoever, none whatsoever. Do your research, guys. Do your research, man. Don't take anyone's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take his word for it.
Definitely
do your own research. All right. I think that's it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some good questions answered.
I think that is it. Let's have a look. See, there's one more. Okay, last question. Last question is from Muchos de Grande. What problems did you guys run into when bulking? Appreciate the both of you. I appreciate you too, man. What problems do you run into when bulking, would you say?
My biggest problem is trying not to eat processed foods. I have a very sweet tooth and I need to stick to fruit more. But my girlfriend, she's the one who makes me do it. She always buys these foods and like, nah, she doesn't really, but yeah, well, she does. But I need to stay away from processed foods.
Trying to fatten you up so no one looks at you.
I need to stick more to whole foods, I think. Like, otherwise I can get fat. Like, I can get fat quite easily, and so I have to sort of stay away from the processed sugars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there aren't any real problems. Like, just eat good food, and you have a great time.
That's it. I mean, the only problem for me was eating as much, I think. That's the thing. If you're trying to consume a lot of calories on a vegan diet, I would suggest you stick more to cooked foods because they're a lot easier to digest, so you can eat a larger volume. Other than that, I love food anyway, so it's like I don't think you can really have much problems bulking. I just love food. I love eating. So just try and keep it clean though. Try and keep it clean, unprocessed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree with that.
But I think that wraps up the Q&A.
Cool. Thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to Casey for being here.
Good stuff, good stuff. See you in a bit, guys.
Thanks for watching.